Hello everyone, this is Helios Raven. I tell you how I do it, even if you don't care. And we're continuing our in-depth look into the forces of Necrons in Battlefleet Gothic. We just went over their initial special rules, and we're continuing on with their weapon special rules. We just talked about the Lightning Arc. One thing that we're going to continue with the Lightning Arc after, there's additional rules aside from the ones we talked about in the first video. And the second part of it is the Lightning Arc has, with multiple firing arcs, can divide their total firepower. Most ships, when they fire weapons, like, say, for example, the Eldar battleship, which can fire its pulsar lances to the front and left arc, it can only fire those weapons in one arc when it declares it with their weapon batteries their weapon batteries and such. The weapon batteries can only fire in one discerning arc. The tomb ships are able to separate their firing arcs with it. The Lightning Arc can be split up between its different firing arcs in any way the player desires. So, for a tomb ship, its strength 20 Lightning Arc can fire 5 firepower to the front, 12 to the left, and 3 to the right, and the next turn can fire 20 firepower to the right and none elsewhere, which is pretty neat, which basically means no matter which way you approach the ship, you can't do one of these pincers, I'll put both ships on both sides, and now he has to choose and gets attacked from the other. No, he can have it fire at both of them and still get his weapon batteries to do their damage. So their broadside, there's no way to approach them without getting safely away from their broadsiding, which is really awesome when you're playing as them, not so good when you're playing against them. They also have what's called a Star Pulse Generator. It's a generator that pulsates an energy wave out of the ship in a radius effect of 20 centimeters. Other Necron ships are immune to this, but when it fires the pulsar generator, each pulsar generator gets one roll to hit against each ship or piece of ordnance in range. Holofields offer no defense against this, and a star pulse cannot be generated while the vessel is using any special orders or crippled. Another thing, this is another part where we need the FAQ here to clarify something. The against ordnance, what happens with the Star Pulse generator is against a wave of ordnance, it has to roll a 4+ against every separate ordnance marker in range, as opposed to against ordnance waves. So if you have a wave of torpedoes, a wave of fighters, you have to roll a dice for each individual ship. You don't get, oh, it's a squadron of 5, roll 1 die, oh, I hit, it's dead. No, you have to roll 5 dice, and you have to roll 1 die for each marker in the wave, and you have to destroy each marker in the wave individually. And, well, at least that's how I'm interpreting this rule, as the way that they're describing in the FAQ here. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to represent the pulsar beam hitting all the ships in the wave, whereas, one giant land shot can shoot at one and cause a mass explosion that hits all of them, that captures them, sort of like in the Gundam episodes and such. But it's neither here nor there. We're talking about the Necrons now, and we're going to go on with the Gaseous Particle Whip. This is basically, it fires out a concentrated energy beam within a magnetic field that arcs, and the arc of this beam is able to crack the energy like a whip. And what this does is, it's treated as a normal lance for ships. However, if you roll a 6 on the lance shot to hit, this will then bypass the ship's shields and affect the target ship directly. Against holofields, shadow fields, Tyranid spores and such, they still get their save applied to them as long as the Necron player didn't roll a 6 to hit them. On a 4 or 5, they're treated as normal lance shots. On a 6, they're a super lance shot, which no form of defense can save against. And then they were given portals. What a portal is basically it generates a portal onto the enemy vessel, allows them to send wave after wave of troopers onto target vessels. Each portal in the ship's stats confers an additional hit and run attack that the ship can make, and these have a range of 10 centimeters, and as normal can only be made against ships whose shields are down. So, hit and run attacks, again, these do get, the Eldar rules do apply for this type of effect, because the Eldar Shadow Holofields and Shadowfields do protect them against hit and run attacks, so they are affected by this. And although the usual restrictions that teleport attacks can only be made against ships with less remaining hull points is waived, with the exception of the Necron Raider class vessel, which doesn't carry enough warriors to board anything with more than 6 hull points remaining. So that's pretty neat, makes them pretty nasty and devastating, and it's the only time that their rules do not ignore Eldar rules. And that's basically it for their special weapons and such. So let us get right on to the vessels in the Necron force. The first thing is the Necron Carrion class tomb ship. The vessel is a battleship with 12 hit points, speed 20, turns 45 degrees, shields 4+ save, armor 6, 4 turrets. It's got a lightning arc, range 30 centimeters, strength firepower 20, firing arc left, front, right. A pulse generator, range 20 centimeters, 1 per enemy, all around. A gaseous particle whip, range 45 centimeters, strength 6, front, left, right, firing arc. And 3 portals, range 10 centimeters, firing arc all around. All in all, really, really nice ship. Like, in a Necron fleet, this is something you definitely want to consider having. It is very pricey compared to some of the others, but you're getting a lot for your ship for what you're purchasing, because it is pretty nasty. It's got the 20 firepower range battery, so when it gets in the broadside, watch out, especially if you're Eldar, essentially, because they're just rip apart. The fact that it can split that fire arc across its 3 arcs is great. The pulse generator makes it really, you don't want to get close to this thing. Basically, basically the ship's going, get out of my way, against everything. It's got the particle whip, which is strength 6, so it's got 6 lances that ignore shields on a 6+, which is great, and it's got 3 hit and run attacks that it can do because of its portals, making it an overall a very, very nice ship to have in the fleet. The next one is the Necron Scythe-class Harvester ship. This is basically their cruiser, and it's a 8 hit point cruiser, speed 30 centimeters, turns 45 degrees, 5+ save, armor 6, 3 turrets. It's armed with a lightning arc with 30 centimeter range, firepower 8, firing arc left and right. It's got a particle whip, range 45 centimeters, strength 4, firing arc front, left, right. It's got the pulse generator, which is 20 centimeters, 1 per enemy, all around. And it's got a portal, 10 centimeter range, 2 firepower 2, left, front, right arc. All in all, really nice ship. It's one of the few vessels we've seen with a nice all-around firing arc that it can do with the cruiser, since its lightning arc is mostly designed for broadside, but again, you can fire on either side with any of those weapon with that firepower. It's got it's got the particle whip. It's got basically 4 lances, which is really nice. It's got the star generator, and it's got the portal. In all, not a really bad cruiser. It's actually pretty nice. In terms of using it in the army, definitely would pick it up. It is its point cost is pretty decent, and all in all, the ship is actually pretty nasty and something you don't want to mess with in any different regular combat. And then it's got the Necron Shroud Light Class Cruiser. The Shroud is a cruiser of 4 hit points, range 30 centimeters, turns 45 degrees, 5+ save, 6 armor, 1 turret. Lightning Arc is its only weapon, which is range 30 centimeters, firepower 10, front, left, right arc. And it does have a special rule, which is the Shroud is essentially stealthy vessel. Its hull is further reinforced by the normal Necron design, which even harder to detect. As long as it is not crippled, a Shroud will never activate orbital mines or grant the enemy bonuses to their command checks if it is on special orders. The Shroud's superior sensors are capable of relaying information gleaned to the rest of the fleet. If a Necron fleet has any uncrippled Shrouds on the battlefield, the whole fleet will get an extra +1 to their command checks when any enemy vessels is on special order. All in all, not my biggest, not my personal favorite cruiser of the Necrons, because it's not great armament-wise. I kind of like the Scythe a little bit better. But if you're trying to be more of a really close quarters, got in the, right there in the fray type of thing, it's really great with giving you bonuses for special orders and such. But all in all, I probably would not really use this cruiser personally, just because it's fairly weak, and for its point costs, it's not so great. It is great if you want to be a more in-your-face type of army against, like, the Eldar or something, where it's really weak against broadside. These ships are phenomenal, but I feel that the Scythe is a little bit more well-rounded vessel than the than the Shroud. And that is all the time I have for today, so until next time, this is Helios Raven, signing off.